Well, howdy everyone, let's talk about lyrics. Now the first thing we gotta look at is what comes first. The chicken or the egg? The music or the lyrics? Which is more important to write first? The reality is, whichever works for you. And that's going to be a trend you see while writing all your lyrics. If it works for you, go with it. Don't worry about rules. This video is not about rules, it's guidelines and tips that I use, that I've seen other people use, but they're not hard and fast rules. Do what works for you. So if you already have a song, you've got the melody, you've got the harmony, you've got the rhythm, and it's all laid out, use it. Don't try to force something in that doesn't quite work. Just write another song. If you have lyrics that are coming up and they don't really fit in with the melody that you've created for this song over here, just make two songs out of it. Make a melody for these lyrics and make different lyrics for this melody. But one of the things you can do is if you have a bright, shiny, happy sounding song, throw in some kind of dark and depressing and moody lyrics. Or if you have a heavy, dark, hard kind of song, throw in some happy lyrics, some triumphant lyrics, some looking forward and joyful lyrics. Play with the duality of the experience that we all have as people. But what you really need to focus on is making sure everything fits together well. Don't try to force sad lyrics into a happy song, and don't try to force happy lyrics into a sad song. Don't try to force lyrics that don't fit a rhythmic meter for the song you've written just because you like those lyrics and you like those songs. Be flexible. Be able to use what you've written, and you'll be able to be more creative. You'll be able to write multiple songs by not forcing two things that don't go together. But above all else, whatever song you're trying to write, you need to commit. If you're writing a happy song, commit to it being a happy song. If you're writing a triumphant, victorious song, you need to commit to that. If you're trying to take sad lyrics and put them into a happy sounding song so you can get that duality, you can get that push-pull, you have to commit all the way. You can't go half when you're writing something like that. You're going to leave the listener confused and they're going to tune it out because it's not interesting to them. They don't see where you're going with it and they don't know if you're being sarcastic or not. So really the most important thing is whether you've written music or written lyrics first. If you're good at writing poetry, write poetry. If you're good at writing songs, write songs. Take whatever you're good at and fit the rest into that mold. Now there are some technical aspects that you really want to consider when writing your lyrics. The first being focusing on your vowel sounds. If you're writing for yourself, you really want to find what your voice sounds naturally well doing. Is it an O, an oo, an ah, an e, an a? Whatever sound you make that you like, whatever sound that you want to be able to sing in front of people, try to find words that end in it or that have a long stress in there. But the thing is, almost every vowel in English, you can add an H or a W at the end of it. For instance, in the song Burden in My Hand by Soundgarden, Chris Cornell says, "Follow me into the desert." But he says it, follow me. Almost like he's singing fa la 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 la. It's like you're putting an H at the end of it and almost making the O into an A. That suited his voice really well. He's one of the better singers out there. Something you want to consider. Another thing you want to do, and this goes to adding variety in the musical aspect of your songwriting that I've talked about in earlier videos, is you want to leave a good line for a second, third, or fourth verse. Something for listeners to want to listen through the first chorus, through the first verse, and get to that really cool line in the second, third, or fourth. Similarly, you want your chorus to be singable. You ideally want something that every time you play it live, the crowd is going to chant back at you. Something that doesn't have a lot of consonants, something that stresses a lot of good vowels, something that doesn't have a lot of jumps, and something that doesn't have a lot of notes that go in rapid succession is really going to be able to draw people in and kind of hone in and focus the song while the verses go out and do all the exploration. The chorus is kind of your home base. So you want something that's singable, that's chantable, that's easy, that focuses on really good vowels for you and doesn't really stress hard consonants like T's and P's. Now here comes the fun part, lyrical content. Now what you want to do is tie your verses and your chorus together. So let's say you're writing a story song. Ideally, what you're going to want to do is put all the action in the verses and the bridge. Maybe the bridge is a part where you overcome whatever hurdles in there, while the moral, or maybe a little bit of humor, is the chorus. Take the song Living on a Prayer. Tommy and Gina are going through a ton of tough times, and that's what the verses are about. The union's on strike, she's working hard for her pay, they got all these things kind of coming down on top of them, but the chorus is we're halfway there, living on a prayer. The moral of the song is that together and a prayer, they're gonna make it. Similarly, if you take the song Amos Moses, the song is about this wily old Cajun who's living by himself in the swamps, Louisiana, and he just wants to be left alone. And everybody that comes by kind of makes him mad, and they just kind of disappear. In the chorus of that song, he says, "Oh, you can sure get lost in the Louisiana bayou." A little bit of humor, a little bit of dark humor, but a little bit of humor. So there's also a moral to it, leave the dude alone, he wants to be left alone. But the idea is the chorus is kind of your main idea. It's your moral, it's your humor, it's whatever point you're trying to get across, while the story part actually just happens in the verses. Now, if you're trying to write a personal song, something about you, maybe a tough time you're going through, maybe a tough time you went through and have overcome it, maybe there's a relationship that you're in that's not working, maybe your town is expanding faster than you'd like it to, whatever's happening, you want to write what you're actually feeling and about that actual aspect. Don't be vague about it. Be direct and exact on the things that are actually happening to you. Because while people may not go through the exact same experience that you're going through right now, they'll have gone through something pretty similar almost 100% of the time, and they'll be able to connect overall to what you're saying. Again, you're going to want to put the moral or the point of the song, whatever you're trying to overcome or have overcome, you want that to be the focus of the chorus, and you want the things that are going on, the things that you're trying to push through, to be explained and elaborated on in the verses. But you don't want to get too vague. If you get too vague, you lose your sense of focus, your sense of direction, and people might just start tuning out because it doesn't seem like you're really being honest. Your audience is people that are really looking for someone to connect to, and they can't connect to somebody who's not being honest about themselves. Now, if you are writing a song that is intentionally vague, a song that's a metaphor, a song that's ambiguous, you can throw a lot of that out the window. You don't have to specifically talk about your own personal experiences if you're trying to write a song that's just about war, but you're not going to call it war, like Gimme Shelter by the Rolling Stones. The song is about war, but the lyrics are about a thunderstorm or something, some sort of bad storm that's coming in. So if you're doing something like that, it's okay to break off, but again, you go to the chorus, war, children, it's just a shout away, it's just a shout away. All right, that's still your moral. Your moral, your central idea needs to be in the chorus pretty much no matter what type of song you're writing. Now, there is one type of song that you can just feel free to write whatever you want, and that's if it's a party song or a bragging song. If you're doing something like that, go whole hog. Do everything. Brag as big as you can, because the point of that type of music is to be big, bold, and brash. You don't want to kind of 75% it, you want 120% it. You want to go above 110, 120% it. Just go all the way out, because people know you're faking anyway. Maybe you're not, but probably. Now, to close it out, I'll say the best way to become a better songwriter and a better lyric writer is to just continuously write songs. Write a lot of lyrics. Whenever you're at the park, if you're sitting on a bench, have a pad and a pen. Or use your phone. You can do a voice record, you can type into a notepad, anything like that. But write constantly, write things that come down, keep a log of it. I actually have a document that's probably like 80 pages long of just lines that I think might be good for something. I may never use them, but if they rhyme, if they fit a song I'm trying to do, boom, I can just pull it out. The more you write, the better you'll write. It's essentially the same as playing a guitar, playing a piano, lifting weights, running, talking in front of crowds. Whatever you do, the more you do it, the better you'll become at it every time, and eventually you'll get to a point where whenever you sit down to write, it'll just come out naturally. So what you need to do is just practice writing. See if you like something you've written. Take it to other people, see what they think. Once you get a good grasp for when people say that's good or that's bad, you'll be able to cut out all the bad and focus on what is working, and you'll just be able to keep moving up and up and up towards that mountain. So I hope you take something from this video and are able to go out and write some amazing lyrics, put them into some songs, and make some great music for the world to hear. Always remember, follow the music, own the show. Make sure to follow me at B_Rowen on Instagram, and here on YouTube, do the like, comment, share, subscribe, all that nice things. Greatly appreciated. I will see you in the next one. B-Row out.